what if you could think like a doctor? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to become medical detectives. We're opening up 2 real-world case files from endocrinology, and together we are going to follow the clues to figure out what's really going on. All right, let's jump right in.
So here's the game plan for today. First up, we're going to investigate a mysterious case of a body-wide slowdown, piecing together the thyroid's telltale clues. Then we'll tackle a puzzling, unquenchable thirst to crack the diabetes code. And finally, we'll debrief on what these cases tell us about our body's amazing and sometimes subtle signals. You know, to solve these cases, we have to put on our doctor hats. And what does that really mean? It means every single symptom is a potential clue, and every lab result, that's our hard evidence. Our job is to put all those pieces together to get to the right diagnosis. Okay, let's open our first case file. It involves a 45-year-old woman, and she feels like her internal battery is just dying. Everything is running in slow motion. So the big question for us is, what's behind this massive slowdown? Let's lay out the evidence. You've got weight gain, this crushing fatigue, and she's always feeling cold when others aren't. Her body is also showing signs of slowing down on the inside, things like constipation and a slow heart rate, which doctors call bradycardia. And you can even see it on the outside, a puffy face, dry skin. It's like her entire system, her whole metabolism, is grinding to a halt. So, with all these symptoms pointing to a sluggish metabolism, the thyroid gland becomes our prime suspect. I mean, it's the body's engine, right? It's thermostat. But is it working too hard or hardly working at all? Or could the problem be coming from higher up, like from the brain's control center? Let's see what the lab evidence tells us. The patient's story gives us a ton of clues, but the blood work, that's where we find the proof. This is where the mystery really starts to come apart at the seams. First up, we're looking at TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Think of it like this. The pituitary gland in your brain is the manager, and TSH is the manager yelling at the thyroid, the worker, to get busy and make more hormones. Well, in our patient, the TSH level is markedly elevated. The manager is absolutely screaming at the top of its lungs. The real question is the thyroid even listening? And this right here gives us our answer. We're looking at free T4. This is the main hormone the thyroid is supposed to be producing to power the body. And in our patient, it's low. This is it. This is our smoking gun. The manager is yelling for more production, but the factory, the thyroid, it's just not responding. It's basically on strike. So when you put it all together, high TSH plus low T4, that is the classic textbook signature of primary hypothyroidism. The problem isn't the manager, it's the factory itself. And the #1 cause for this kind of thyroid failure is an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Case closed. So what exactly is Hashimoto's? Well, you can think of it as a case of friendly fire. For some reason, the body's own immune system gets confused and starts attacking the thyroid gland. And over time, this constant assault just damages the thyroid until it can't do its job anymore. Now, any good detective knows you have to rule out the other suspects, right? So hyperthyroidism? No way. That would cause the exact opposite symptoms, like weight loss and a racing heart. Subclinical hypothyroidism? Close, but in that case, the T4 level would still be normal and ours is low. What about a pituitary issue? Well, that would mean a low TSH and ours is sky high. The evidence only points to one culprit. All right, one case down, one to go. Let's open up our second file. And this time, we're not dealing with a slowdown. Oh no, we're looking at a system in total crisis. Our patient is a 30-year-old man, and his biggest complaint is a puzzling, unquenchable thirst. So what are the clues this time? Well, he's got polyuria, that's a fancy word for urinating constantly, and polydipsia, which is that intense, excessive thirst. The two pretty much always go hand in hand. But here is the really weird part. He's losing weight, but he's also hungrier than ever. That's a huge paradox, right? It tells us his body is literally starving for energy, even though he's eating more food. So what in the world could be causing this? We've got a lineup of suspects, including different kinds of diabetes and some other hormonal disorders. Now remember, his young age and how quickly this all came on. Those are major clues. What's your gut telling you on this one? All right, it is time to go back to the lab. And for this case, the blood work isn't just a clue. It is the smoking gun that is going to point us directly to the culprits.
And wow, here it is. A random blood glucose test comes back at 320. Now, to put that in perspective for you, a normal reading should be somewhere under 140. So 320 isn't just high, it is dangerously, seriously high. It means his bloodstream is just flooded with sugar that his cells can't use for fuel. This next piece of evidence just confirms that this isn't a fluke. This is the HbA1c. Think of it as a 3-month average of his blood sugar levels. His is 9%. A healthy target is way down below 5.7%. So this tells us the problem has been building up for a while, leading to this crisis point.
With that kind of evidence, there's really no doubt. The verdict is in: type 1 diabetes mellitus. You take the classic symptoms, the off-the-charts blood sugar, the patient's young age, and the rapid onset of it all. It is all textbook for this autoimmune disease. And you know what? Just like our first case, this is also an autoimmune condition. It's that same friendly fire idea. But this time, instead of the thyroid, the immune system is destroying the special cells in the pancreas that make insulin. And without insulin to act like a key, sugar can't get into the body's cells to be used for energy, so it just builds up in the blood to toxic levels.
Let's just quickly double-check our other suspects. Type 2 diabetes? That usually has a much slower, more gradual onset and is often associated with obesity, not rapid weight loss. Diabetic insipidus? Sure, it causes thirst, but the blood sugar would be normal. And Cushing's syndrome has very specific physical features our patient just doesn't have. So again, only one diagnosis fits all the facts.
Okay, so we've cracked both cases. We solved the mysteries. But what's the bigger picture here? What do we take away from all this? Let's do a quick final debrief. When you look at these two cases side by side, the main lesson just jumps right out at you. Case number 1 was about a system slowing down, a clear signal from an underactive thyroid. But case number 2 was about an energy system completely breaking down, a desperate signal of insulin deficiency. Two totally different sets of clues pointing to two very different root causes. And this brings us to the most important takeaway from our investigation. The body never lies. It's constantly sending us signals. The real challenge for doctors and for every single one of us is learning how to interpret its language. The clues are always there, if we just know how to look for them. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Listening to these signals, that nagging fatigue, that weird thirst, those sudden changes, it isn't just for doctors, it's for all of us. So what silent signals might your body be sending you right now? Thanks for playing detective with me today.